Oh, thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Evelyn Mora. I'm the founder of Digital Village, which is a multiverse, and we're going to get there what multiverse means. But before we get there, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Some people like Adele are natural singers. They have great voice, and Michael Jackson, obviously, Elvis. I'm not saying I'm Michael Jackson or Elvis, but I have always had a thing for fashion. When I was a little girl, I used to use my little pocket money that I had. I would go to H&M and I would buy yellow pins that would fit my yellow shirt. And that was super exciting for me and it made me feel very confident. Jimmy was talking about AR. How many of you have tried AR filters for your face? That's actually very serious because a lot of people, especially the Gen Zers, are super addicted with AR, and I'm too. I'm a millennial, but I'm still addicted. I don't want to take a selfie anymore without having an AR filter. When we enter this three-dimensional world and Web3, it's really about ourselves and our identities. And it's really important for us to be able to represent ourselves in a way that we feel comfortable, or how we want to see ourselves, and we want to communicate that to the world. And fashion actually is extremely underestimated. How many of you works in fashion? One person. Yet you all are wearing clothes. No one's naked. And I think that you are all actually a little bit underestimating fashion. You, sir, up there, I think if I would ask you if you're into fashion, you would say, no, I don't really care what I wear. I'm just, buy something simple and just leave my house. The thing is, you all actually have selected what you're wearing today in a very complicated way, and you are very conscious and aware of what you're wearing today in terms of colors, textures, and brands. So you are wearing particular type of colors today, and I could explain to you why subconsciously and unconsciously you selected these particular outfit, that shoes, and why you put your hair that way today. Without going deeper into fashion, I will explain you what Digital Village is. But firstly, that's Kimiya Kawai. She's my digital twin. I was the first person, real person, who had her digital twin on blockchain. And creating her was a very emotional experience. When we talk about identity and our digital twins in the metaverse, it's not one-size-fits-all situation. It really depends on if you are your digital twin or if you're a dinosaur. Right? The emotional experience and the attachment, the use case is completely different. I took a selfie 2 years ago without makeup from front and from the sides, and I sent it to my avatar maker, and she literally sculpted this avatar based on my face. And I show it to my friends and my family, and they would say that it doesn't really look like you. It looks like you when you were 14, and that really hurt me because I see myself in her. Whenever I cut my hair, I cut her hair. She had a longer hair. Whenever I want to take a tattoo and I don't want to take it on my body, I take it on my avatar. So how you represent yourself in the digital world actually is super important. Digital Village. I'm actually the founder of Helsinki Fashion Week. I've run Helsinki Fashion Week for 8 years, and I founded it because I created myself a job, because fashion industry in Finland was extremely small, and there was no places for me to work on. So I created it. And I started going into sustainability, and it became the world's first and most sustainable fashion week in the world. We started only showcasing sustainable designers, and when you're a sustainable designer, you don't necessarily have all the resources from financial perspective, from material perspective to utilize. So why am I here today on a Brussels blockchain week? A person who has a visual arts background, product background, not really a tech person, still a CEO or founder of a tech company, is because I saw an opportunity in Web3 and digital tools to help young designers to communicate, build narratives around their brands in a way that they don't actually have to use so much natural resources or financial resources. Digital Village was born from there. We hosted a 3D Fashion Week 2 years ago. We had 500,000 visitors, and we showcased about 30 designers. I realized then what NFTs can do to the fashion industry, what blockchain can do to the fashion industry, and how digital fashion, digital twins, avatars, direct-to-avatar commerce can really influence and change the fashion field. So I founded Digital Village. So Metaverse actually isn't anything new. It's just a recomposition of social media, e-commerce, and gaming. So we're just literally we want to get into these spaces, make it more accessible, and scale it to the masses. But it's nothing new, actually. So we're not reinventing something here. So for us, Digital Village is a recomposition of all these elements. If anyone here wants to try this, if you get all these names right here, I can give you $1,000. Does anyone want to try? No? Or 1,000 Ethereum? No? So up there, I think most of you know who she is. She's Coco Chanel. We have Yves Saint Laurent. We have Versace, Giovanni and Donatella, Paco Rabanne, Miuccia Prada. The gentleman on the left up. Any guesses? No? He's Mr. Louis Vuitton. Below him, this really funky-looking gentleman is Gucci or Gucci. We know a lot about Gucci. We know that they bought land on Sandbox. They are activating on Roblox. They're creating their three-dimensional, high-fidelity world. But nobody knows Gucci or Gucci. Yet we are attracted to this brand, and we find it cool, and we're in general attracted to luxury brands. What we forget about luxury brands is that these people are actually the designers and the visionaries behind these brands. And the message and the vision that they have in terms of lifestyle, philosophy, identity is something that these fashion houses essentially try to keep up. I wanted to show you this because there is an industry of creators that are rising in the Web3 industry. However, we are somehow against for big companies entering this space. What we forget is that this list has been like this for decades. Maybe we've had Virgil Abloh added to it or another couple of designers, but in general, the luxury fashion is the vision and the philosophy of lifestyle these people have created. Obviously, Coco Chanel is not just a designer. She essentially liberated women. We ride horses with pants, so it was more comfortable for us. So she really pushed boundaries and enabled more equal system in social environments. So each of these designers had a vision which was partly political. We have a lot of gay people here, by the way, in general in fashion industry. And why I wanted to bring this slide today is to remind you that you all probably have heard about Balenciaga's Afterworld. You've seen their collaboration with Fortnite, yet you don't know that this is Cristobal Balenciaga. So the multiverse, why is multiverse so important? So in Digital Village, I mean, you've been in Paris, right? You know Rue Saint-Honoré, right? All the luxury brands are there. Because in general, they are serving the same demographics. And when it comes to interoperability in the metaverse, it's one thing to be interoperable with Sandbox or Decentraland as Digital Village. It's another thing to create a multiverse, an ecosystem of metaverses, where all of these brands can actually license our technology and build the worlds and really build a digital identity, which is super important, and be still interoperable with one another. So that's essentially the vision of the multiverse. So we are focused on custom avatars. We are not using Ready Player Me or other types of avatar applications, and that's because it's really important when you walk in the street and you see an advertisement of a luxury brand. They're wearing a white T-shirt, and there is a famous artist or an actress, and you go like, wow, that's so pretty. And you look at the person, you look at the picture, you look at the atmosphere, and you buy into that. You buy into that narrative, and you buy into that dream. You don't buy that white T-shirt. And that is the secret of luxury fashion. It's all about narrative and storytelling. It's about vision of lifestyle, essentially, which we buy into. And I just want to say that when I say to people in events like this that I'm in fashion, people go like, oh, okay. It's grossly underestimated industry. However, it's one of the top 3 biggest industries in the world. It's also one of the most polluting industries in the world. Fashion is essentially self-expression. And this is so important in the Web3 industry. And all this started with Travis Scott selling $20 million worth of skins, which were not NFTs. And now when you bring blockchain and NFTs into the picture, you are introduced to ownership, a new economy, supply chains, trends that can be redefined using these technologies. So what's really important for us, for all of you, is to understand whatever you're building today, you're building it for people. And as people, we really care about how we represent ourselves, how we look like, and how we get validated by our communities. So essentially what we are doing in Digital Village is that we enable individuals and companies to utilize our tools and build those spaces and avatars and digital fashion skins to be able to find their digital twins, whether it's a dinosaur or it's your digital twin. And yeah. It's a very, very, very funny because before I came to this stage, I had all these things to say about fashion, and now I'm here and I'm just like assuming automatically that you mostly don't understand what I'm talking about. But what I would like you to do is encourage you to look into your own closets, think about why you're dressing the way you're dressing, and how you would like to represent yourselves in the metaverse, in the virtual spaces. And next time you buy something from someone, a brand, think about why is it that you buy that brand? Why do you buy Adidas? Why are you wearing Nike shoes? Do you feel that it's more comfortable? It's a brand that can represent you? Is it for comfort or is it just for purpose? These questions are some things that we need to ask ourselves, and we need to be very mindful when we enter these spaces we call metaverses and Web3. And we need to understand that the choices that we make every day from fashion perspective is how we represent ourselves to the outer world. And we seek for validation and essentially all the time try to explain and represent who we are as people. So yeah, thank you.